Welcome to Around Town featuring what's going on here in the greater Concord area. I'm your host, Patten. It's a pleasure to welcome you back as we're now into the Easter season with Easter and Passover, and hope the Easter Bunny is good to all the boys and girls out there in a matter of a few days. And of course, baseball's on the season. Red Sox are back in town, and we'll see if they're going to go to a pennant race this year. Who knows? But with me today, and my guest is Kara Wyman, or I remember as Kara Saltmarsh, as a little girl. Yes, I've known Kara for many, many years. Her mother and father, and of course her brother. Oh boy, I can see it. Yeah, Saltmarsh. Mm-hmm. Gosh, he's gonna kill me now when I see him. But in fact, I trained him as a dispatcher, and I kid him all the time because of an incident that happened one day when he was dispatching for me. I was a supervisor, and I came in one morning. He worked the midnight day shift. I came in, went to the refrigerator, went to the bathroom, sat down right beside him. He was sound asleep. And of course, all of a sudden, I tapped him, and he jumped. He did, and I said, "How long you been here?" I said, "Oh, I've been here for a little bit." But he has never forgot that.
The curse of third shift.
Oh gosh, I know it. That's the thing. But he's out of police work now, though.
He is a happily retired man. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
God, you kids are so older now. It doesn't seem possible. Of course, your dad passed away a number of years ago, and your mother, she was busy over at the county courthouse there. And
yes, yeah.
It seems like all those.
It does seem like it was just a few years ago.
I know, and they were to me they were good times over there in the courthouse, because I remember her and what was her name? Seal. I can't remember her name.
Mary Lee.
Mary Lee.
Mm-hmm.
Mary Lee Seal was there, and it was just a good group before it got so big now, and now it's just you don't know anybody.
No familiar faces anymore.
No.
Yeah.
Well, Kara is you're the assistant superintendent up there.
Correct.
Wow, gosh,
yes.
Don't seem caught up the Merrimack County House of Correction.
Yes.
And you have one of the reasons why Kara's on here. We've had Ross on here before, but the fact is that she's got a program that has become very successful up there, and it's called SOARS.
Soar, yes.
Not a sore on your leg or on your foot,
nope.
but
soar
like an eagle soaring. And I was reading on it, and I copied off some of it. I forgot to bring it in, obviously. But it's very interesting, and I thought, boy, that makes a good program. And this isn't. How did you come across this thing? Is this something that you thought up of, or did you see it somewhere else?
So the model is based after what's called a transition from jails to communities, which is a national model that's evidence-based. But Ross Cunningham, who's the superintendent, came to us from Sullivan County, and he began a similar program to SOAR in Sullivan County with great success and reduced recidivism by 20%, which is a really large number. It doesn't seem like a lot, but in this day and age with the opiate crisis where we're at, 20% is a huge accomplishment. So he came to us at Merrimack County, and he said, "This is what we're going to do," and off we started running, and we have been at a full sprint in that direction ever since.
So you started this, or you got this about 4 or 5 years ago, or just recently?
We started in November of 2015, so we're just barely a year and a half in. So, and we have ballooned. Our numbers have grown exponentially over the days, to just 2 or 3 people out of the facility on supervision to 16 right now.
Wow. On
supervision in the community. So that means that they're still on correctional supervision. So we are responsible for them, and we're monitoring them electronically with an ankle bracelet. But they're in the community, and they're paying for their own medical care. They've got a job, so they're paying taxes, and so they're becoming a viable citizen. All the while, they're being monitored, and they're being held accountable to their appointments, They're going to counseling while they're in the community and things like that. So it's a win-win, if you will, because taxpayer dollars are going towards something that's creating viable citizens, and we're all community members, so that's what we want to have happen.
Now, if I remember right, when I worked for county, when someone was sentenced to the House of Correction or the jail up there, it was for only maybe, a year or no more than 2 years, right? Because if it was more than that, they went to the prison.
Right. So if someone is sentenced to 12 months plus 1 day, they'll go to the New Hampshire State Prison.
Okay.
But for county, we hold people pre-trial and sentence. So we'll hold somebody sentenced for up to 12 months.
Okay.
But we can also hold somebody sentenced for 2 consecutive 12-month sentences.
Oh,
So
really?
2 years, essentially.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
and that is, that's expensive for taxpayers to house somebody that's not being a productive citizen.
Sure.
So our philosophy is, let's put them to work, let's get them
Yeah.
out into the community. And, if they're on work release, then they're working in the community, but they come back to jail at night or when they're off shift. But they're also paying the county money, room and board. So there's revenue there for taxpayers.
This is interesting because I'll tell you, because I don't know if you were, it was when you were a little girl, and I know when I was much younger as a kid, when they had the inmates up there, of course, then they had the cows.
Right.
And they used to work up there in the cows with them
They
and
did.
stuff, and also the garden up there, the gardens, I think, I don't know if they did pigs or not, but
We did
I
have
do
pigs at one
remember the
time.
big
Yep.
cattle up there.
Yeah.
And then they just dropped it, and I thought, they said they couldn't make them work there. What in the heck was the difference, but...
So a pretrial inmate cannot be mandated to work, but a sentenced inmate can
Yeah.
be. And that's we still have a garden, a fantastic garden every year that the facilities staff at the county work with, the inmates, and they produce, we've had everything from herbs to vegetables, and that all supplements our budget, so we don't have to spend taxpayer dollars because we're using the vegetables that are grown.
But no idea, no thoughts of ever bringing the cows back there again, or the animals?
I'd love to see the cows and the pigs back again.
I know.
The problem always becomes is who's got the knowledge to be able to care for the animals properly and maintaining a workforce. We don't always have dozens and dozens of inmates that are eligible for that. Merrimack County has a unique population in that we have about 70% pretrial and 30% sentenced.
Wow.
So those pretrial individuals have to stay inside the jail, and we count on that 30% of sentenced inmates to come out and do that outside work, like mow lawns, shovel snow in the wintertime. But they also clean the jail. They do the laundry. They create meals. They make foods.
Who's doing the haying up there, though? Is that money for you folks too, or is that just leased out to somebody?
The county leases out the hayfield to a local farmer. So.
And I know at one time they were doing lumbering up back there too.
We used to have firewood and all that stuff. So so
boy.
It was quite an operation, and if people don't know the history of it, they don't understand why it was called the county farm.
Oh, I know.
So.
Yeah, that's what it was. And of course the joke was for some of these, they'd say, well, you can tell it's coming winter because they're all going looking up the county farm looking for a place to go,
Absolutely.
But it's sad in a way because to see so many young guys women too, because there are now women up there too.
Oh yes, absolutely. We house women.
Ladies.
Yeah.
It's just so sad to have to see them going up there to be, it's like, my goodness, what are they doing to their life,
An addiction is an awful thing. It's a disease. It's all consuming for some of them, and it's become rampant. And yes, there are women at the county jail, and it's the fastest growing population in the nation of prisoners. And men and women have different needs, even in incarceration. So it becomes interesting.
Now, for those who aren't not familiar with what's going on up there, so there's a lot of things going on at the county. Of course, across the street, the county nursing home has been redone over, a brand new one built a number of years ago. Garish Manor has been absorbed in there somewhere.
Yes, they still have the assisted living in Garish Manor, and the sheriff's office is
Yeah,
there now.
they're up there now.
The dispatch center's there. The commissioner's office is there.
And
So all the other offices, finance, everything. So
Yeah.
they're trying to centrally locate things, which I think makes sense. It's unfortunate the courthouse is so far away, because it does make it difficult for the sheriffs for transportation.
I know, and to me, it's farther up there than it would be. But then I guess if you think about it, well, okay, you've got New London, Sutton,
Right.
over in that neck of the woods, and then over the other way you've got Franklin, of course, Northfield, and then of course Bosquen, Salisbury, and Andover, Danbury, another one over in that corner.
That's right.
But then of course if you're thinking, well, gee, I'm down in Pittsfield or Allenstown or Hooksett,
Way down in Hooksett, yeah.
I got to drive all the way up to Bosquen. You know,
Yeah.
I myself wouldn't want to drive, especially in the wintertime, because thinking about those hills.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, it is. It's really become the county seat up there.
It really has, yeah.
You know, and to see Concord, the county courthouse there, I mean, they built that brand new one on the front, but you know, well, anyway, getting back to your program. But no, when I know you sent, I'm on the trustees there now. When you send requests for different things, I always wonder, you know, what are they doing with these things? But
Right.
it's what is the ages now? You've got what, 18
Right.
to what? What is your major age of taking part in this program?
The focus is on anybody who's got some sort of a substance use disorder. So the age range can be, we hold from 18 up, so anybody that's 18 years old or over, and it's based solely on their need and their risk to reoffend in the community.
Okay.
We have not had anybody that's like a baby boomer, that
Yeah.
generation. We haven't gotten into those
Oh, good.
as of yet. So our primary focus is millennials and Gen Xers. So, and it's, you know, like I said, the addiction is consuming.
And they look forward to being. Do they ask, "Can I go into this program?" Or they just, or do you make it a point to go and approach them?
So we're utilizing only those individuals who are sentenced to the program. So we've been out and about in the community, and I've spoken to police commissions, and we've gone to the public defender's office, several attorneys' offices, the city prosecutor, county prosecutor, and we've also spoken to the judges to explain the program and the merits of it. So we rely on those individuals being sentenced to the program. So we're trying to work arm in arm with the court system, because on the other side of it, we're working arm in arm with the probation and parole department, and they're working with us to help us supervise people while they're out in the community, so that we can hold them more accountable to the rules of the program. So, but the age groups are, like I said, anybody 18 and over, because that's the only people that we can house in the jail.
So they don't. I mean, and when you said they're in this program, now do you find them jobs, or they already have a job?
So both.
Okay.
And these individuals are, you know, some don't come to us excited about being in the
Oh,
program,
I'm sure.
but the alternative is to go to prison,
Yeah.
and in some cases death, because they could overdose.
Yeah.
So, and that's truly the reality of it. But they come to us and they start out in the program, and we work very hard. We have case managers that are on staff that work with the population regularly, weekly, sometimes daily when it gets closer to that release date, to make sure that they have a viable home, a good job, safe. Basically, we're looking for safe harbor. We want to make sure they go to a safe place that's it's a healthy place for them, not some place where everybody is using drugs.
Oh, I know.
And that they have a job, and we work with them to get them a job. We work with several programs. One in particular that's fantastic is called My Turn, that works with the younger group of individuals, 18 to 26.
Yeah.
They have a center in Franklin, and they work with our population to find out what their niche is, what are they good at, so that they can help them get a job, and that's funded through DRED, and it's been extremely beneficial to us. But while they're in custody, we're working to get them their high set, which used to be the GED.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure they have an education, but a lot of them are very skilled individuals, a lot of trades that are really dying arts, and they are, you know, they just they get into the drugs, and they use their money for the wrong reasons. So
Now, if they're on this program, and they get caught taking that stuff, are they immediately put back into the
yes.
and taken off that?
They go out into the community with the knowledge that they're going to be regularly and randomly tested for drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
And they're expected to tell us where they're going to be all the time, so they give us a schedule, and we know where they are because we can see it. The electronic monitor tells us where they are. So they come in, and they if they're using, then and their urine comes back that they're positive, they get taken back into custody, and we start over, and we work some relapse prevention classes with them, and the clock starts over, and we start again, and it might be 3 weeks later that they finally get themselves back together so they can go back out into the community.
Okay, so if they got caught, they do get another chance, and they're not just put back in and say, okay, that's it.
No, they definitely get another chance, because at the end of the day, every single one of us in the program that works in the program, we want them to succeed. We want to help people. That's why we're in public service. That's why we're doing the jobs that we're doing. It's not because it's easy, and it's not because we don't have our failures. We're there to help people. That's what our goal is.
Well, that's good, though, because it's got to be, to me, I would think they would be very upset at themselves for supposedly getting so far, and all of a sudden they have a downtime, and all of a sudden, whoop. Yeah.
And it's a difficult thing. 30 days in jail, and again, life is about choices, and these individuals are making decidedly poor choices.
Yeah.
But 30 days in jail puts you with no place to live, no job. Usually after 3 days they have no job. And sometimes family and friends walk away too, so they're faced with a blank slate, and it's not an exciting kind of a blank slate. It's a lot of effort.
Yeah,
so.
Sure. Now, what about the ladies? Are they allowed to be in this program too?
They are, and our community correction center that we're building right now is going to have a wing that's for women that's going to be equal. So there's equal number of beds, 35 beds for men, 35 beds for women. Women have historically not been served by the criminal justice system as equitably as men have been. Programming isn't always offered, but at Merrimack County we work very hard to make sure that it's fairly and equitably distributed between both genders. So so it's very important that the female population is provided with the proper programming and exactly the what they need in order to be able to succeed.
So if I remember right, now they're doing something with the old Edna McKenna Facility up there.
Yes.
Is this where the females are going in that one then?
Right, and the men will be there too.
Oh, okay.
It's got 2 floors to it, so one floor, we're calling them wings, one wing will be men, one wing will be women. And that is where every participant in our program will be staying. So that's a privileged unit. It's just going to be considered an ancillary building to the main facility. But those people that are living in that facility are going to be trustees, if you will.
Yeah.
They're going to be those individuals that are actively participating in the program, working in the community, so work release individuals, all of those sentenced individuals that are eligible to be in the community. That's who's going to be living in that facility. All the while gaining programming during the day, or when they're not working, they're going to be getting evidence-based programming, dealing with addressing their risks and their needs. So changing their thinking, talking about relapse prevention, talking about drug use and why they used and why they need to stop using, and giving them the tools that they can use to stay clean and sober.
But there's no intermingling, though.
No, absolutely not. No.
That's what I wondered.
No. Yeah.
Being in the same building, you kind of wonder if there's a little intermingling there. But
yeah, we've designed it with the help of Warren Street Architects to be very clearly. There's a very clear delineation between the male wings and the female wings, and there's not a time when they will overlap. you know, I always say that I hope the worst thing we have is they're passing notes. And that's the goal, is that, you know, we intercept notes being passed between the men and the women. If that's the worst thing that happens, then we've had a good day. So
I know, boy, I could see maybe some broken marriages coming up in maybe, or something, and having some irate husbands show up there.
Let's hope not.
I know, boy. But that's got to be tough, because especially if there's kids involved. Bad enough at the state prison, but to have them go up there to see their mother or father or whatever, it's just like, oh man, I can't imagine it.
Yeah, it's very difficult for the children. We've got a lot of programs right now that we work with. One of them is we've dovetailed with the Bosquen Police Department, their Books for Kids program. So they collect gently used books in the community, and when they have contact with a child, instead of just having contact with the child, they give them a book, so they have some sort of a positive memento. We've got a bookshelf in our lobby, and our lobby officers encourage children that are coming for a visit to take a book, and they get to bring it home. So it's a positive interaction between the facility and the children of the incarcerated parent. Every year, Sesame Street puts out a Children of Incarcerated Parents handbook, and we make that available to the population so that it gives them some idea of how to work with their child to work through the separation. The new facility, the McKenna Facility, will have contact visits, so those sentenced individuals that are of proper behavior will be able to have contact visits with their children, which is that's a really big deal for
And they
for
couldn't
kids.
have that before then.
They can't now. We have completely no contact visits.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Boy, it's got to be tough. I mean, while they're doing all this stuff, they don't think of that. But then when they get in there and find out, oh, nope, sorry.
Right.
You mean I can't see my kid?
Yeah.
No, sorry.
It's very, very different. So, and it's tough for the kids too to see their parents through glass.
Oh,
so
I
that's
bet.
really difficult. So
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I don't know. And now at the end of this course there, we call it there, do you have like a graduation type ceremony or something to note what their accomplishment there?
So we do. So at the end of the 60-day class, which takes about 12 weeks to get through, we all gather, myself, the program director, all the clinicians, the case managers, and all of the participants gather, and we have coffee and some sort of a snack, a sweet. And the staff signs a card for the individual, and we give them a certificate to acknowledge their hard work, because it's a lot through that 60 days.
It is, I'm sure.
So we do that, and that's only the halfway mark, because then they have another 12 months of aftercare that they're going to take part in.
Sure.
And when that is done and completed, and that's in the community, so they've got real life pressures plus the aftercare counseling piece. They get another certificate that proves that they've graduated, and we make sure that it comes to them in a frame, and there's a cake. And all of those things happen. Now, the individuals that are baking the cake are the inmates that are inside the jail.
Oh.
So it's sort of a sweet reward for the population to know that they inevitably, the individuals that are graduating once were the individuals baking that cake for the person who was graduating. So it comes full circle.
Boy. And and then I don't know about you, but the other day when I watched TV and then I read the paper about this gentleman down there in was it Rockingham County or was it Stratford or Hillsborough? One of them where he was smuggling. He was a guard down there and he was smuggling in drugs for these guys. What is the matter with these people?
We work very, very hard to talk about those types of things, so our staff knows that. It's never acceptable. We're corrections professionals. Yeah. It's never acceptable to cross that line.
I know.
And yet there's always one.
I mean, my gosh, when I saw that, I said, how in the world? It just doesn't make sense. There's if you had somebody in your program and you think he's doing wonderful or she is, and then you see this come up, it's like,
Yeah.
You know, what was I, a fool or something? Here I'm, would they try to pull something on me? And,
Right.
you know, they must have thought I was stupid or something. But it's just sad to see that happen, though.
It is. It is. It's always a blow to see a correctional professional, someone who you thought was a professional, succumb to that temptation. So.
I don't know. I really don't know, Kara. Life has changed so much from what it was when we were younger, and
It certainly has.
my goodness, you know, and to think back years ago when they had even the smaller facility up there before they built the McKenna one, and now they have the bigger one. It's like, look how it's good. I mean, it's sad to see. It's like when you see something grow bigger, but not that stuff.
Right. And that's the intent behind the McKenna facility and the refurbish that's going on, is to reduce that revolving door. We want to slow the door from revolving. That's the idea. We very easily could have asked the delegation to expand the existing facility.
Sure.
But that's high security, high price beds. And this county doesn't need that. We need people to become citizens that are viable in the community, and they're community members. That's what our goal is. And so refurbishing the McKenna facility, that fits the ticket. It's what's going to make it happen.
I remember the discussions, though, because they didn't want to. Some of them didn't want to.
Yeah.
They thought it was a waste of money and all this jazz, but
I hope to prove them wrong.
I know you. I know you will, Kara. I know, because it's just some of those diehards. They just don't, whatever. But I can see the very positive attitude and the work you're putting into it.
Yes, every day.
So, boy, yeah, it's gotta be good, you know, because, I mean, I'm sure you have the days where you wonder, what in the heck did I get involved in this for?
I've been saying that for 15 years.
Yeah, I know, really.
One more day, that's what I always say, one more day.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'll tell you, it doesn't seem possible that we're, I don't know, like I said, life has changed so much. And to see this going on, but, well, if there's anything that, you know, anybody can do, I mean, like with the kids concerned, because my wife has a program that she does through the state range. It was called Operation Night Night. It was for kids who are going through crisis like that, where they get a sack, and in the sack has a pillow, a blanket, a book, and I think maybe it was a stuffed toy or something of that nature, and they get the key. That's theirs to keep. And if that's something that you think you could use up there, we would be more than, I can talk with her, Deb, and I'm sure she'd be more than happy to do something like that.
Absolutely, have her give us a call. We're always looking for ways to keep the families together and make sure that children know that, you know, we're not the bad guys. We're trying to help. That's a big thing.
Yeah,
so.
I know, because I can well imagine.
Yeah,
you know.
So.
Well, don't blame me, it's them. They won't let you see your dad because, you know, I'd let you. He wants to see you, but I can hear it, boy.
So it's tough. It's tough on the family unit. It's even tough on the parents, and like everything else, in corrections we forget that because we do it every day.
Yeah.
We have that parent call and say, "Is my son okay?
Yeah.
Is my daughter? Is she all right? You know, does she have a place to sleep? Is it warm?" And those are things that is just strange questions for us because of course we're taking good care of them.
Yeah.
But parents need to, you know, they need to ask the questions, and I encourage parents to call, and my telephone number is on the website, and feel free to call me, and I'll return the call as soon as I can, and my email's on there. If they can call and ask any question they want, and if I don't know the answer, I'll find a way.
That's right.
So
I think again it's because it's the TV. We
Sure.
always see it. It makes me, and I can't watch some of these shows. I get so mad. And the wife said, in fact, last night, my wife said, "Well, it's because you were a dispatcher. That's why."
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we're coming to a close around town, so I want to thank you for coming on and explaining this program out. And if we can anything new we can help out, let us know, please, by all means, Kara.
Thank you.
And you be sure to say good, hello to your mother for us,
I will.
and Craig as well too. So.
Yes.
And with that in mind, thank you to my director, Ian, over there, and we'll see you all soon. I'm your host, Dick Patten. Have a great day from around town.